So tell me, Brian, have you ever did you ever play MMOs before?
Massively multiplayer online.
Yeah.
I have. I actually don't even think we've talked about this at all before, but I was a huge RuneScape player for a long time.
RuneScape. That's like an old MMO, right?
Yeah. 2007 was its prime year. It's actually still going.
Oh, really? I thought it was older than that for some reason.
That
I'm
was
thinking
like
of Ultima.
2007 was like when it hit its peak of popularity.
Yeah.
Like there were millions and millions of people playing.
Sorry about that.
It came out in like 2002, I think, 2001, 2002 as RuneScape, and then RuneScape 2 came out in like 2005, and then 2007 is when that really became popular. RuneScape 3 came out somewhat recently, within the past couple of years.
Still couldn't hit the popularity of World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft.
I actually still play the 2007 version. The 2007 version of RuneScape is so popular that the developers publish both versions currently.
Oh, wow.
You can play the newest version, or you can play the immensely popular. It's literally called Old School RuneScape, and it has like 2007 in the title.
Is it free to play, or do you have to play any subscriptions?
You can still be a member if you want to. I free play right now because I don't play it nearly enough to bother paying the membership. I don't even know what it was. It was like $5 a month way back in the day. But way back in the day, $5 a month for a 14-year-old kid was a decent amount of money.
So yeah, we're talking about how like board games are on a rise lately, kind of. But MMOs almost seem like they've been on a decline lately.
Yeah, which I don't know, a little bit sad about. It was so... I would spend hours.
Yeah, there's a lot of great communities that can come out of MMOs, and you can definitely see the MMO influence a lot of these open world games that we talk about, especially with like just some of the grinding and the side missions that I love so much.
Mine so many coals in RuneScape.
But they seem to like they've been on the decline lately, and World of Warcraft is still the only steady one that's been out since I think 2004.
Yeah,
which is pretty nuts to see. My favorite MMO, unfortunately, is no longer in existence.
Oh no!
It's a little one called City of Heroes.
There's a theme with all your.
Super. Yeah, that's kind of true. No, I was a comic book fan. I like comic book characters and whatnot, and the pantheon behind them, but I don't really read comics much anymore. So yeah, City of Heroes was this MMO where you created your own superhero, and it was an MMO, and the character creation system was awesome. One of the best character creation systems. You could really edit things like very well, and it was just a fun game overall.
Yeah.
You had different classes, like a tanker was a tank. A scrapper would be like a close combat fighter. You've had the mage would be called a blaster. They'd things like that. You had a controller who controls the battlefield, and a defender who was the healer. And me and my friends got hardcore into that in high school. That's when it first came out, and we would play. My summer of 2004 and my first semester of college was just gone.
City of Heroes.
Yeah. To date myself too a little bit, like 2004 cell phone bills were not what they were now. You can pay a plan to have unlimited, talk and text. Back when then you had minutes. A certain amount of minutes you could use. And if you went over those minutes, you paid like pretty hefty fee per minute. So your cell phone bill could get really high. So then AIM was still there, but on the decline. So part of the way that I used to contact my friends from high school, still, some of my best friends today, was City of Heroes. we'd be like, all right, on AIM, all right, see you in the real world is what we would call it. And that was a fantastic game. It was a lot of fun. It wasn't nothing overly complicated, especially there wasn't really an armor system involved. There's power-ups and things like that, but Man, I missed that game. If that game was still around today, I would probably I would always jump in and out, but I would definitely have jumped in a couple of times. And one of the reasons I'm reminded of it is because NC Soft, who eventually bought the rights to the game, they're gonna release their own MOBA, the multi-online battle arena game, like League of Legends kind of esque. And they're releasing Statesman as one of the characters, and Statesman was one of, like, he was the poster of that game.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of people, especially in the City of Heroes community, who are up in arms about it, because it's like NC Soft was actually really close to selling the rights to some people so that they could put the game back out and its assets, but they didn't do it. And it's been years since then, but after they bought it out, they closed it and they haven't done anything with the assets. So people are like, "Oh, like, well, it's like you're teasing us here. You're gonna release Statesman in this MOBA, but we want, like, just let go of the IP so that way, you know, maybe somebody else can do something with it."
Yeah, at least just throw like an old server up or something.
Yeah, but it's NC Soft has been bad about that, and they're just not great overall as a company trying to, like, keep up with their MMOs and games. Like, yeah, just let go of the IP. I want to play City of Heroes again. But it's interesting though, the communities you could get out of MMOs and whatnot. We had a superhero group, superhero base. Like, the game was so fun that at the time, even my girlfriend, who didn't play video games much, she made her own character and was playing the game. Like, that's how fun it was overall. You could fly, you could do super jumps, superpowers. My main character, his name was Strife. Strife, yep. He was a good guy. He was like the anti-hero, you know, cliche. He wear like the leather jacket kind of thing, like the trench coat leather jacket and stuff. And he was a martial artist, but he also had a secondary ability to regenerate.
Nice.
So he could go into the fray of battle and regenerate pretty well. I remember when they first released the game too. My friend was a tanker, an invincibility tanker. So eventually they had to nerf this stuff. But my friend, like, it felt like he could go into a horde of 100 people, not take any damage. And I would be the guy, like the cleanup crew kind of guy. Like, all right, they're focused on him. I'm going to try to take down as many people as possible. Yeah. Yeah, that game was so much fun. Eventually, they released City of Villains too, which was like the opposite part of the game, other side of the spectrum, which is an expansion. Going rogue, you can kind of be like a neutral in between. And yeah, I remember jumping back into it like years back, and just still, like, having been gone from it for years, me and my friend jumped into it years back, and we had so much fun with it. It just reminded of our days in high school and that college where I didn't do anything but play this.
I did a similar thing with my friend with RuneScape. Once we discovered that they re-released the 2007 version, we when I used to play it, my mom would actually like drop me off at his house when we were like 13, 14. Get dropped off at his house. We'd play for like all day.
5 years ago for you.
Yeah. And then when it like re-released, like he came over and we were just like sitting there playing RuneScape, and I was like, this is so nostalgic.
We come off as such big nerds on this.
Yeah.
If people at like work saw this, they'd be like, I mean, luckily we work with nerdy people. We won't mention where we work, but yeah, there's certain people at work I could think that watch this pod. If they watch this, they'd be like, wow, these guys are the biggest nerds ever. I was a football player at one point in my life.
I don't have anything to cling to. Don't leave me by myself.
No, Brian's no, but you do music.
I do music. I made the theme.
He did make the theme in like an hour. Half drunk, I think. That's a good theme. I liked it a lot. But
good.
Yeah. I would love to see that. And then it's neat because there's still a community. I'm like on one of the Facebook groups. It's called COH Survivors, City of Heroes Survivors. And I can see there's projects in the works. There's like like spiritual successors / clones.
Nice.
They want to make of City of Heroes. So one of them, City of Titans, Valiant's online. I think there's one that's called like I saw it recently. It's like Ship of Heroes or something. I don't really know the concept.
It's like a
everyone's on a
seafaring version.
Yeah. I don't know. I have to look it up some more, but
You're all on like a cruise together.
yeah, it's definitely neat. And some people have been able to use some of the assets from City of Heroes, but not completely recreate the game, but some aspects of the game.
Okay.
Like I think some of the character creation, and I'll have to look into it, but I think none of the battles are in it really. But you can kind of venture off and like I think it's called Paragon Chat is what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, so any City of Heroes fans, feel free to correct me in the comments below.
We'll put a link here.
No. I do the editing, and so you can tell it's kind of lazy when it comes to editing. Except that picture of you and Logan.
It was a good one.
That was a good picture. Yeah, you have anything else to talk about?
Well, I mean, staying on MMO for just like a moment longer. One of my favorite games when I was younger was Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic was obviously a fantastic, well-beloved game in many people's top 10s.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'm actually replaying the second one.
Are you?
Right now, yeah, I have it on Steam.
You didn't tell me this.
I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, I re-downloaded it and I was going to run through it again. But they came out with The Old Republic, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's the MMO version.
The MMO
I did
version.
play that as well.
I didn't like it as much.
What did you not like about it?
I mean, I haven't played it in a really long time. It's laggy beyond all reason for me. Like, whenever I'd go in... I mean, this could be my internet
I think
speed.
that's your computer
But-
or internet speed.
It's not my computer, but it's definitely my internet speed. Just anytime I'd go into, like, a city, it'd just be super laggy.
See, I got it at launch. I didn't have any lag.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I don't know. It was fun. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't like the story as much as I liked the story in 2.
Yeah, I mean, there's stories within it, but it's just not as compelling. And I almost feel like, I don't know. I'm sure people have played it, but or no, but it ruined Darth Revan's story. Depending on whether he was a Darth or just Revan. Kind of ruined his story a little bit, in my personal opinion. Didn't have a great story behind it, and it was a fun game though. I liked being able to play as a Jedi or Sith from the get-go. Unlike the first MMO that was Star Wars related, it was called Star Wars Galaxies. And
I didn't get to play that.
yeah, I didn't really play it either, but you had to like do a lot before you could unlock the Jedi class, like a lot, like almost end game stuff to eventually unlock the Jedi class. But being able to do it from the start, it's funny because it's like any BioWare game, I always choose the good guy. So even if I'm a Sith, I'm like making good decisions as a Sith. It was kind of funny, like, yeah, I'll help you out, I'll do this and that. I'll treat my slave, like really well and free her and stuff. Like, I was a good Sith. It was just cool to be part of the Sith faction, but no, I was not Sith-like at all. I'm always a good guy when it comes to choice games is the thing.
I always play through first as a good guy because I feel like it's a little bit harder, and then I'll play through as the villain.
I don't go back too many times is the thing. And if I do, I don't know. I just have this conscience where I can't do things that are really bad.
Well, Undertale's a little bit like that, which is a game that I have on Steam, where it's like this.
It's not a tail. It's not above ground, but it's underneath.
It's under. You fall underground.
Is this really the plot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You literally fall in, like you're exploring somewhere and you fall down this hole and you land where humanity has forced all of these monsters. The world used to coexist with monsters and humans, and the humans eventually forced all the monsters down into this cave and closed it off.
People?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's frogs. Frog monsters.
Yeah, because, frogs live underground.
Yeah, so all the monsters are generally like fairly nice, but they like attack you because that's what they're supposed to do. But some of them, like, so you can play through and either like kill every monster that you come across or save them by talking to them. You can like flirt with some of them.
Hey there, frog person.
Yeah, and it will like tell you what they say because it's very much like an old Pokemon game, that like overhead view, angled, very limited graphics, and there's no like actual voiceovers. It's all just like.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing I think about Star Wars, the Old Republic too. That was it was touted as being cool, but it got old. Was every dialogue was voice acted in that game?
So you ran out of voices at some point.
No, you don't. Like, well, at least when I was playing, I mean, maybe expansions are different, but every time you talk to somebody, there was voice acting. And it was neat, and that was a feature that they touted very highly, you know, saying, oh, you know, completely voice acted, and it was, and after a while, I'm like, I just want to, like you can
click
kind
through.
Yeah, you can kind of skip it. Again, it's been a while since I played, but still, you kind of have to go through, like, all right, make a choice on what you're going to say in response. Okay, skip. So, yeah, after a while, I just, that was, I think, cumbersome to me. With the Old Republic, and again, they also, like I said, ruined Revan's story a little bit.
Yeah,
I would consider going back to it and trying it out again. But
maybe I'll have to try it again. Maybe I'll change my mind.
should we download it right now?
Let's do it.
But yeah, Undertale sounds fun.
Yeah, no, it's
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. You mentioned like having the conscience, and with that game, like if you play through and kill everybody, you won't really notice. But if you then go back and play as like a good guy and be like, oh, I'll just spare everybody, really like it hurts to be like, I can't believe I killed you before. You're so nice.
Oh wow, you like learn more about the
they like have families and shit, and like they're super nice to you usually. Like there was a ghost blocking a door one time, and I was like, oh, I gotta kill this ghost. And then, like, just by, like, talking to it, you figure out that he's just like, oh, I'm sorry. Am I in your way? I didn't even realize. Let me just move. Away. Yeah. He's like, I'll just move for you. I'm sorry.
Poor ghost.
Yeah. But if you just kill it right away, you don't learn that stuff. So it's an interesting game.
Yeah. That sounds fun. I'll try it out one day.
Yeah. I'll bring it over.
Probably not. You'll bring it over. It's on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
I already have access to your Steam library.
You do.
So I can do whatever I want with it.
Download Undertale, play it.
I could, but yeah, there's a lot of good indie games out there. MMOs, we'll see what happens with those. There just hasn't been anything compelling ever since. I mean, nothing's been 2007. As compelling.
Since RuneScape
2004 for me. Since City of Heroes, there hasn't been anything that's been super compelling that I want to play. I've heard Final Fantasy 14 is a good MMO.
Yeah, I heard Breath of the Wild is a really good
multiplayer / MMO.
Yeah,
I mean, you can make it. Could you make a cool Zelda MMO? Maybe.
It's everyone's Link.
Everyone's Link. Yeah. Hi, I'm Link. You're Link too. Me too. Wow. But yeah, I would love to be able to get back into one, but it's time too. Time's hard. But yeah, I guess that concludes this episode of the Super Sidekicks podcast. And I'm not looking at the camera right now, so.
Oh yeah, I always look at you actually.
And I always look like this way, which is like kind of a way. I look at the screen, which looks like a blue steel that way. Stop the recording already. Will you? You've embarrassed me enough.